Hi everyone, welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. So in this video I'm going to be retrying Gauntlet 3 and hopefully we get less lag. So I just want to see if the lag situation has improved or not when we get to the final stages and see how I get on. I'll also be sharing my build that I'm using on this video as well. It should be quite a fun video. I'm going to see how I get on and I'm going to go in supporting with bone armor, and I've got survivor set in my paragon as well, and I'm going to let my summons do a lot of the work whilst I'm sort of further back. I don't want to get too stuck in unless I'm giving bone armor to someone. And yeah, let's just see how this goes, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get as much lag. Okay, so we're just about to head into Gauntlet Inferno 3 with this party setup here. You might recognise Mao, and Nefli also is someone who helped me complete my previous time. You can see there's an Inferno 3 personal best of 10 minutes 37. That's when I did it the first time. Difficulty range is 8 and I'm just above combat rating. So here we go. Let's see how we get on. The first few fights are pretty straightforward. It's the final boss which is the really difficult part of it. Gauntlet 3. It's pretty much like the main boss of Gauntlet 3. The rest of them are a walk in the park really. If you have the right group and setup, that is. They go down quite quickly. So we're just about to head in and let's see how we get on. Okay, so when you enter, you want to try and make sure you stay together and then walk in at the same time. You want to try and trigger the cutscene together. You don't want one person to run in because it's just going to be inefficient and just leads to a messy start. So the idea is I want to cast bone armor on my party members as much as I can, especially Nefli here and Mao.
I must wait, it seems.
And then use my summons as much as I can.
Duly charged.
This is where the cocoon goes into a
Give it more time.
lovely looking butterfly lady. Okay, so you can see that was a very quick attempt. And just to show the party again, this is the raid. So I'm with Nefli, Lord Michwa and Dark Shamrock. So I'm also interested to see what the lag situation's like. I do get lag spikes on this. And yeah, we want to make sure everyone stays in the same group as well. That's very important. Okay, so this is the lightning boss. It's pretty cool. Just have to watch out for its attacks on the floor. It does those triangle shaped attacks. And it will start doing these lightning beams where you have to move in an anti-clockwise direction. Here it is. So you just have to move in an anti-clockwise direction. Make sure you stay within that area. And there we go, that's the... Ooh, it said completed, but the electric beams still carry on going. That's the second boss down. Let's head to the next one. Okay, so this is the boss with the lanterns. So you click a lantern. They're cleansing lanterns, which will disperse the mist. Wait at the entrance. Make sure everyone's ready and together. And then you walk in at the same time. There we go. Trigger the cutscene together. This boss does stun lock at one point as well, which is a bit annoying. So I'm just going to go heavy on this boss, and then when it's in that phase, it kind of stun locks. I'm just going to grab a lantern just in case. Put bone armor back on my party members. Stand behind. There is one attack this boss does, which that's the one. It really hurts, and I never know what it is. I don't know why my health was going down so badly though.
I must wait, it seems.
I had to move back because I don't know what that was. That really hit me hard.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Grouped up again. I need bone armor again for my party members. Nefli is very fast. Just about caught bone armor on Nefli. Super fast player. I had to try and keep up with him. Just going to be careful. Okay, right. This is where
Still recharging.
we need to disperse the mist. Got one of the lanterns, bone armor again. Stay away from the triangle on the floor. Stay together, and there we go. That's that boss down. And also, once the boss dies, still keep an eye out on the floor. You can die in Gauntlet 3 after the boss is dead. Okay, let's head towards the next boss. So this next boss can also hurt hard as well, so you just have to be careful, and you have to block the beams on this boss. So there'll be some ice beams. So once again, we wait, stay together, and then walk forward at the same time. Trigger the cutscene. Okay, there we go. Bone armor straight away. Okay, watch out for the floor for those triangle attacks.
He's patient. No, not yet.
That's bone armor. This is where you have to block the beam, so just make sure all the beams are covered. Also watch out for the floor. You get these ice blocks that come down from the ceiling. They're quite deadly. I'm trying not to get in too close. Only when I need to cast bone armor. Whoa, I'm sliding all over the place because of the ice.
I must
8
wait.
seconds for bone armor. The cooldown always seems to be really slow during these gauntlet matches when you need bone armor as quick as possible. I have tried to reduce the cooldown as much as I can. And I've also got beneficial effect duration increase from 4-piece Vitu's gear. Set items, that is. Okay, so once again, anti-clockwise.
No, not
And
yet.
this is where I lag. So it happens every time. I get lag spikes during that anti-clockwise ice beam. Okay, now we head towards the final phase. This is the hardest boss and pretty much the main boss of Gauntlet 3. Let's see how we get on. And this is where you end up having to use your revives as well. It's usually that circle to the left hand side of the screen. It's when that circle gets to about quarter health left of the boss. It's when it goes into a bit of a crazy mode. Okay, so this is where we just have to think of the tactic that you're going to use with the legs. If we're going to do it clockwise, anti-clockwise, one group, two groups, you want to try and keep an eye on the health of the legs. You want each of the legs to have about 10% HP left and sort of take them down together. So you want to rotate between all of the legs. Try not to kill one of them too quickly. You want to try to take the legs down at the same time if you can. So that's the sort of trick here. But even then, it's easier said than done. It is actually really difficult to do, especially when you're getting hurt really hard. And also, this is where you need to save self-revives as much as you can. So we're just discussing the battle tactics and ready to go. All my cooldowns are ready. Here we go, we're about to go. I'm going to click bone armor now. I know the bone armor is going to sort of carry on during this cutscene, but I just wanted
That ability must
the team members to have the initial hits deflected with bone armor. So I'm kind of, this is tricky because I'm going to have to keep an eye on the mini-map and on the floor and my party members. There's a lot going on here. So I've successfully casted bone armor about 3 times there. I'm using all of my summons, primary attack. Oh, that hit me really hard. I don't know what that was.
not yet.
Phoenix Ash. Oh no, I got hit with the edge of that triangle move on the... Oh no.
Death
I don't know what that was. I don't know why I'm getting hit so hard. I've never been hit that hard to begin with. Usually I die, you know, when there's a quarter of the health left of the boss. This is not a good start at all. That wasn't good.
Give it more time.
Okay, cast bone armor again. That was really messy to death. I was not happy about that. It should not have happened.
Give it more
I don't
time.
know why you get hit so hard sometimes and other times you don't.
That ability must recharge. No, not
Okay, so we want to take out the legs, but not completely kill them.
Give it more time.
Bone armor successfully casted there.
I must wait, it seems.
Bone armor's back up. Okay, good. I cast bone armor there. My party members are on the top, or in the bottom left of the screen. I've got my ultimate, but I'm a bit reluctant to use it just now. There's too much going on. Maybe in another phase.
I must wait, it seems.
Trying to grab Nephi. Not sure if I got Nephi. Ran really fast.
Not yet.
Groups spread out so much, it's making it really hard to cast bone armor.
Give it more time. I must wait, it seems.
Okay, I might use my ultimate now. Oh no, no, no.
My wounds mend.
Damn.
Still recharging.
Tricky time to use the ultimate, but just about survived to do enough damage with it. Oh no, I'm dead.
Give it more time.
Okay, back to positions. I need bone armor on Nephi.
Charge. Give it more time.
It's when the boss gets to quarter health, things get really bad.
I must wait, it seems. Death closes upon me. Death is patient. I must wait, it seems. Death is patient. Still recharging.
That was really messy. I was just trying to concentrate to see what was happening there. I'm trying to cast bone armor on Nephi. Stay with Nephi up here. They're going in a clockwise formation.
Give it more time.
Oh, I think I just missed bone armor there. Just out of range.
Still recharging.
The boss isn't even on quarter in the circle yet.
I must wait, it seems.
I don't know if the boss is stun locked. Oh no, the legs are back. Okay, this is where you get this like tidal wave. You get this wall of crazy wall that you need to stay inside this area. I think this has happened a bit quick.
I must wait, it seems.
So I would have expected the boss's health to be a bit lower before this stage happened, but
Still recharging.
the good thing about this phase is your party members are kind of forced to stay together.
No, not
You don't want to walk through that massive wall.
It is not my time.
Oh no,
it
my
seems.
health.
That ability must recharge.
There's a huge ball
must
of
wait.
water as well.
Give it more time.
Oh no, I died. Have I got... no self-revives. So I've just sent a message just to say self-revives have gone and 5 out of 5 team revives remain. But the boss has just too much health here and it's going to enrage in 1 minute, so this isn't going to work. So you can see in this on the circle on the left hand side there, the boss has got a small amount of health left, just under a quarter, but the boss is going to enrage in 13 seconds, so this is going to be pretty impossible now. Actually 6 seconds to go. Oh my god, they did it with 6 seconds remaining. That is insane. I can't believe that. The boss was just about to enrage. And here is the damage. So you got Lord Michwa dealing some insane damage, Nefli, Mao, Follow, and myself, Mr. Ken, Long Necromancer, and Dark Shamrock. Oh, I can't believe that actually happened. With Enrage about a few seconds left to go, and we did it. Wow. Okay, that's a new record as well, 10 minutes 32. I can't believe how crazy that was. Let's collect this loot. And yeah, that was mad. Okay, let's exit. Wow. And that was Inferno 3 Gauntlet, probably the most intense gauntlet I've ever done in this game, and I did not think we were going to do that because it was about to enrage in about 3-4 seconds, even less, and somehow the legends that were still alive managed to take out the boss just before it got enraged. It's the closest I've ever seen Gauntlet 3, so fantastic battle there, and also got me a personal best, so I really enjoyed that. Hopefully you liked watching it, and now it's time to talk about the build that I used. Okay, so after that absolutely insane and tense Inferno 3 Gauntlet match, I'm going to show the build that I used to keep everyone alive as much as I could in my party and sort of survive and deal whatever damage I could. So it's kind of like a support Necromancer build, with bone armor being the heavy focus, and I will now share the type of build that I use. So let's head over to the Essence Transfer NPC. It'll be easier if I explain there, but let's look at the Paragon to begin with. So obviously if I die, there are chances that the party member dies as well, and then it all falls apart. So there's huge focus on survivability and making sure that I stay alive as long as I can, so I can try and keep my party members alive as long as I can. So it made sense to go in with Survivor Paragon, and I've gone in with Indestructible, so I get the fatal attacks from monsters instead reduce you to 1 life and make you immune to all damage from monsters for 3 seconds. Now, of course, this has got a 120-second cooldown, but when it does kick in, it might be that really vital moment when it does kick in that you can save the rest of your party members. I've got Unyielding, so for every 10% of missing life, you take 1.2 less damage. Every little helps. Stalwart, so when I do drop below that 30% life, I gain 35% increased block chance, and block chance is quite important. That's for 6 seconds as well, so a minute cooldown, but once again, a minute can go by quite quickly, and this may kick in just when you need it. Battlefield Efficiency, so obviously when you're trying to look out for those potions, it can be annoying when you're trying to scramble, trying to find potion just when you need it. This makes it so that the recharge rate of the potions goes up by 20% for each party member within 12 yards of you. So I'm going to be staying close to my party members anyway, because I'm going to give them bone armor, so this kind of pairs nicely with that. And Resilient, so the bonus of regeneration is now increased to 5%, and the bonus of battlefield efficiency is now increased to 30%. So I've got battlefield efficiency equipped. Obviously don't have regeneration, but battlefield efficiency makes it so the bonus is now increased to 30% over that 20%. So once again, that's Indestructible, Unyielding, Stalwart, Battle Efficiency, and Resilient. For the legendary one, makes sense, just go with Benefactor. It gives you that buff that grants a shield to nearby allies, and they absorb damage equal to 15% of your maximum life for 6 seconds. So, and the cooldown's not bad for this actually. It's not 60 seconds, it's 30 seconds, so it seems like an obvious choice. So that's it for Paragon. For the Warband buff I have, if I go over to my Warband, I've got this one here, so Protector, increased block chance by 5%. So just make it so, you know, I do get that block chance kick in. And I've also got the Protector buff here, so increase your life by 6.5% and your size by 15%. Yeah, that's the Warband bonus that I've gone with. It made sense to go with Protector for this one, just to get that block chance up. Looking at the set items, so because I am doing bone armor and the buffing on my party members, it made sense to go in with at least 4 pieces of Vitus Urges. So increase the duration of all your beneficial effects on you or your party members by 30%, and increase the target's attack speed by 30% for 3 seconds each time you use a skill to grant a beneficial effect to yourself or a party member. So every time I cast Bone Armor, my party members are going to have it for a bit longer, and they're increased attack speed. So if you want, you can go ahead and get the 6-piece of Vitus Urge as well. So you'll get this final property here. So it creates an area where in 12 seconds it grants you 12% of life drain to yourself and any party members within that area, but it can't occur more often than once every 40 seconds. So it depends if you want to wait every 40 seconds for that to kick in, or if you've got any other set items that are going to help you a lot. I've gone with 2 pieces of shepherds, so my summons deal 15% more damage. And then for the other 2, now these are the 2 that can be swapped out, so I wouldn't say this one's actually needed. So I've got 2 pieces of War Rags of Shalbas, so that just increases my primary attack damage by 15%. I just didn't have anything else to replace this with, to be honest. So you can either have 6 pieces of Vitus Urges, or you can go in with 4 pieces of Shepherd, so you get the increased critical hit chance by 3% for each of your summons, up to a maximum of 18%. So depends if you want that extra crit chance or just extra primary attack damage. I would have probably gone for the extra crit chance if I did have these 2 crafted as shepherds, but I did have them ages ago, and I decided to mix things up and change things around and have only 2 pieces of shepherds and then have 2 as something else. I may swap this primary attack damage with something else, because 15% it's okay, it's nothing amazing. So that's basically what I've gone in with my set items. So now, in terms of legendary gems, now obviously this is a tricky one because not everyone's going to have all these legendary gems, but I guess the main one worth mentioning is Phoenix Ashes, if you do have Phoenix Ashes. I know it's a 5-star legendary gem, but it's my main survivability gem. So if you do have Phoenix Ashes, it can save you in those moments of peril. You get that shield for 6 seconds that absorbs damage equal to, well, this percentage is going to be different depending on your rank, but you do get that shield that kicks in. So Phoenix Ashes is my survivability legendary gem. And then I've just got Roiling Consequence, Blood-Soaked Jade, and in fact I nearly am very close to getting the last bonus property for Blood-Soaked Jade, which would have helped a lot here, where you take 6% decreased damage while below 50% life, so that would have helped me out a lot, but I haven't quite ranked it up there yet. I've only recently ranked Morsagurei to 10, so that's my offensive gem, and just because I've ranked it up to 10 today, I just wanted to equip that for this one, but that can be swapped out for any other survivability gem that you have instead of Morsagurei, that is. So Starfire Shard is the other one. I do like that one when it does kick in. Gloomcast for my primary attack damage, and then because I'm going in with quite a summon heavy build here, I've gone in with Follower's Burden just to increase my attack percentage, so you get up to a maximum of 18% increased attack damage, and also the summons take 6% decreased damage, so they can survive for a little bit longer. And then this one I've just got Mother's Lament. So you know, the legendary gems are important, but they can be swapped around for other gems that are as important. So these are just the ones that I sort of go in with. So that's the legendary gems. Runes, just pick your best runes, and same for your sort of your cursed properties. Just check your cursed properties as well. So I've got 2 pieces of Lashed, I've got 4 pieces of Detested, and I think I've got 2 pieces of Wired. Yeah, so that's what I've got for my cursed properties. And yeah, for your sort of other loadouts, just, you know, whatever you've got for your loadouts, go in with. I'm sure it's going to be fine. That's not going to make a huge difference to Gauntlet 3. Okay, so now the important part. Let's go ahead and look at the skills and the essences. So for the skills, I've got Command Golem, I've got Bone Armor, of course, Command Skeletons, and Skeletal Mages. So a very, very summon heavy build. Now the reason I've done this is because I'm going to be focusing a lot on running after my party members and trying to keep bone armor on them and just that survivability. I'm gonna have less of a focus and concentration of trying to use, you know, Grim Scythe or, you know, Dark Curse or any of those skills and sort of attacking the boss at all times. I'm gonna be running around too much, so I'm gonna lose some time actually trying to attack and more time running around. I'm basically making sure that I've got as many summons on the battlefield as I can, doing as much damage spread around whilst I cast bone armor, so at least I'm not completely useless and only casting bone armor and nothing else. So whilst I'm going around casting bone armor, I decided, you know, just get as many summons out there as I can, just dealing as much damage and keep refreshing them as much as I can. And also, of course, you can have bone armor on your summons and the legendary Paragon skill as well cast on your summons, so you're keeping them alive as well as your party members. So it just made sense to have a summon heavy build here, just because whilst I'm running around casting bone armor, I've got all the summons dealing as much damage as I can. I mean, you could have swapped one of these ones out for Wraith form to get that invulnerability, but it just seemed like I'm going to end up using it at the wrong time or something like that. I thought, let me just have as many summons as I can.
Well, let us forge.
Okay, so let's take a look at the essences. So for the helm, I've gone with skeletal archers. Now the reason I picked this is I don't want the skeletons to rush into the boss straight away and die by some sort of area effect or anything, or just be too close to the boss. I want them to be as spread out as they can and firing from a distance. So that's why I decided to go with archers rather than the lightning skeletons that sort of rush in and deal damage. I mean, they are pretty cool, but I just wanted the skeleton to be as far back as possible. So I've gone in with archers, and also they get 18% increased damage, and the cooldown is reduced by 10% as well. For the chest piece, this is a no-brainer. Parting gift, it's got to be this one, and there's basically no choice. You don't want to swap this out with anything else. So this is where bone armor now grants you and all nearby party members 5 charges of damage immunity, each of which prevents all damage from a single hit. Bone armor cooldown reduced by 7.2%, and the cooldown's reduced by an additional 10% for awakening the slots. Okay, next up it's the shoulders. So for the shoulders, I've gone with Incision Cusp. Now, this is where bone armor also increases your critical hit damage by 30.4%, and bone armor cooldown decreased by 10%. So 30.4 is a big amount of critical hit damage increase. So when you do get that critical hit happen, you know, the damage which you're going to deal is going to be a lot higher, and also reduces the cooldown for bone armor as well. Now, if we have a look at anything else on this list, I mean, we could maybe increase the damage of skeletal mages, so that could be another one worth swapping out with if you don't really care about the critical hit damage. Continuous damage is maybe one that you could go with as well. I didn't notice too many times where I was getting continuous damage. It was either a huge hit that made my health bar go down, or a one-hit kill. I can't remember too many times actually where I noticed a continual damage and I had to keep healing. But you know, if you do want to have some extra survivability and worry about continuous damage, you could put shared service on. The only other ones is maybe one for your skeleton mages that you could equip. Bone armor increasing primary attack speed, that could be another one as well, but I didn't think it was going to be that much of a difference of 28.5%. Any other ones here? Bone armor increases movement speed. I mean, the area which you have to run around in is fairly small anyway, so I'm able to rush around, and I'd rather have more survivability and so in terms of like defense or extra damage than movement speed. I know movement speed is obviously going to help me dodge out the way of certain attacks, but I'm seems to be doing fine with that anyway, so I didn't think extra movement speed is going to help too much. Or you could have skeletal mage grows in size and strength the longer it's active. The reason I didn't have this is the skeleton mages might die quite quickly, so I don't think they're going to be around long enough to make the, you know, to make the most out of this essence. So that's why I thought it's the best idea to go in with increasing the critical hit damage. For the legs, I've gone with Undying Malice, so bone armor increases your critical hit chance by 14%, and I get the cooldown by 10%. So that's another reason why I went with these two together. You get the increased bone armor cooldown, and then with one of them you get the increased critical hit chance, which then helps with the other one where you get increased critical hit damage. So yeah, the critical hit chance is a really good one to go with. Every little helps, and when you do get that critical hit chance, you know, just help take that boss down quicker. The only other essence that you could go in with here would be bone armor duration increased by 39%, so that would be another one worth picking instead if you just want that extra bit of few seconds of survivability. But the cooldown isn't too bad with bone armor. So Rotted Harvest is what I've got for the weapon. Devouring Golem, so Command Golem now summons a Devouring Golem with unlimited duration that consumes nearby corpses to increase its size, maximum life, damage and attack range while dealing damage and slowing nearby enemies. The Command Golem's damage is increased by 18% and the life is increased by 10%. So because I am using Golem, I just thought this is a fairly good one to have, Devouring Golem. Now if we have a look at any other options that you could swap this out with, I mean, if we just scroll down here, I mean there's the other golems, but that's the latest golem essence. You could swap out golem with Wraithform, and if you do have that you can attach one of the Wraithform essences here, but there's nothing really, I mean this Revenant Wind isn't really going to do that much damage and much use here in Gauntlet. Other than that, we don't have Grim Scythe, so maybe Stroke of Midnight. If you did swap out Command Golem with Wraithform, you could have Stroke of Midnight, which would help Wraithform and reduce the cooldown. Other than that, when Command Skeletons die, they grant nearby allies 38% attack speed. That could be one that you could use as well. Other than that, there isn't really any other choice, so that's why I went with Rotted Harvest for the weapon, just because I've got the Golem equipped. For the shield, Umbra Eater, I really like this one. So the skeletal mages are no longer static. They will move around and channel those beams at multiple enemies. But the longer they're around, the more damage they deal. That's what it says here. So at multiple nearby enemies that deal more damage the longer they hit the same target. Skeletal mage damage increased by 18%. And then you get an additional 10% damage as well. So this is a really nice one. Because we're using mages, you definitely want to have something like this so the mages are moving around as you're running as well. And because you're fighting a boss, they will use that beam to channel that boss and then deal more damage the longer that beam is pointed at the boss. So that's why I've gone with Umbra Eater for the mages. That seems like a good one to stick to. And for the offhand weapon, because I'm using Command Skeletons, I want them to deal as much damage as I can. So Command Skeletons damage increased by 19% and their life increased by 10%. That seemed like a no-brainer to have. And for the other shield, because I've gone with the Golem, I've picked Corrosive Slab. So Command Golem also makes nearby enemies vulnerable, causing them to take 15.2% increased damage. So just makes those enemies weaker, and hopefully their health bar goes down faster and helps the whole party take down those enemies quicker. And Command Golem's cooldown is reduced by 10%. Now if we have a look at anything else that you could use here, I mean, if we're using Soulfire, you could use one of the Soulfire ones. 19% of all damage you take is taken by skeletal champions. That could be another survivability one that you could use as well. If we go down a bit further, and Command Golem damage increased, that's potentially another one, but Golem's fairly slow anyway, so I'd rather have gone with some of the other essences. There's not much here. I mean, this one here, Soulfire now has 25% chance to explode on hit, dealing damage to nearby enemies and causing them to burn. So if you did have Wraithform instead, maybe this one would be one to swap out for instead of Golem. So when you are using Soulfire, you've got a chance to do that burn damage and that damage over time. So that's definitely one that you could use if you want to go with that one. The other ones are not really that useful in this situation. I mean, I didn't want to go in with Thunder Mages. I prefer the ones that move around. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's why, because I'm using Golem, I've gone with Corrosive Slab just to make the nearby enemies more vulnerable. And as I said, if you want to swap out Command Golem with Wraithform or even Borrowed Time or something like that, you can, you know, just swap these essences around. Borrowed Time is also a good one to have in Gauntlet. I just took a risk not to have Borrowed Time because I know I'm going to have the 5 out of 5 revives for myself and my team at the end, and I'm hoping to rely on those 5 out of 5s to sort of keep going. But borrowed time is definitely a really good skill to have. So these are the essence that I've gone with. So once again, skeletal archers, parting gift for the 5 damage immunity, that's really, really important, that one. Incision cusp, undying malice, rotted harvest, black wall, pierce hammer, and corrosive slab. So if we have a look at the skills, so you can see I'm actually using everything, there's nothing that's cancelled out. Soulfire, yep, that's the one I picked. I mean, up to you if you want to pick Bone Spear because you've got the, you know, single boss target to go with. You can go with that. The only reason I've gone with Soulfire is because I prefer the ultimate for Soulfire compared to Bone Spear, and I can stand further back. Bone Armor has got its 5 charges of damage immunity for 12 seconds. You can see I've also got the critical hit damage increase, and I've also got the critical hit chance increase, and I've got all the cooldowns as well. Command Golem is control and summon. So you've got Devouring Golem there. And also it does say that it's when summoned it deals 33,598 damage to all nearby enemies and stuns them for 2 seconds. So that's quite useful for the little minions that are around. Obviously it's not going to stun the boss, I don't think. And then I've also got Command Golem also makes nearby enemies vulnerable. So you can see both of those are working together. Now the Command Skeletons one, you've got them being as archers, and also you've got the increased damage, so they're working together. So for mages, it's just summon one, and you've just got the mobile mages there that move around and, you know, channel that beam at the enemy, and you get some increased damage there as well. And my charm does extra 4% damage as well, which is quite cool. But if you don't want to have Command Golem, I guess you could have Bone Armor, Command Skeletons, Skeletal Mage, and either Borrowed Time or Wraith Form. They're both good enough. So Wraith Form will obviously give you invulnerability, but the thing is you never know when you're going to get that one hit kill, that one shot. That's the only reason I didn't go with Wraith Form. The only time Wraith Form will be useful is if I want to quickly go to somebody to cast Bone Armor on them, but it seems like I'm just wasting a skill hoping, you know, just to get to somebody to cast Bone Armor on them quicker. So I'd rather have Borrowed Time than Wraith Form, because then you're going to get, I mean, the cooldown's only 35 seconds, and it's just going to make you come back alive. The only downside, obviously, with Borrowed Time is when you do come back alive, your health bar's going down. If you get hit as well, you're just sort of game over. So it could be a wasted skill for the last boss, and that's why I've gone with a full summon build. So that's all of the essence that I've gone in with in Gauntlet 3. Like I said, as a Necromancer, you've really got to be on the ball. Keep an eye out for your party members. Watch the mini-map at all times. Watch where they are. You need to keep an eye on your cooldown for Bone Armor and get that cooldown reduced as much as you can. Keep running after your party members and cast Bone Armor as much as you can, and just keep them alive. And you want to keep yourself alive as well. So, you know, make sure you've got your potions stocked up, and make sure you use them at the right times. Make sure you look around for healing orbs. Keep an eye on the floor. Don't just stand there and sort of spam your attacks and sort of hit Bone Armor. You got to keep moving and dodging those attacks on the floor. So there are all the tips that I can think of as a Necromancer in a support role. Bone Armor is the key to keep everyone alive. It's best to have a Necromancer on each party in Gauntlet 3, and yeah, do your best. Good luck. It's very difficult, as you saw, and you'll get one shot many times towards the end, and it's kind of up to you to just pay attention and just, you know, keep an eye on your party members on the minimap. Just run after them and keep Bone Armor on them at all times. That's pretty much it. We've gone through everything we can there. All of the set items, the legendary gems, the skills, and the essences. So hopefully that helps anyone out there that's attempting Gauntlet 3. Best of luck, because it is a very, very difficult fight, but it's also really fun and rewarding as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching that video, and hope you appreciated the build share as well, and hopefully helps anyone out there that's attempting Gauntlet 3. Like I said, approach Gauntlet 3 in a way that you're kind of only fighting that last boss, and the other 4 are kind of just warm up because they're very quick to get through. It's mainly that last boss for Gauntlet 3, so it's pretty much one main boss and 4 warm-up matches. Hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.